All right, people, how are you today? Hope you guys are having a great day. I've got my cigar, I got my coffee, and today I've actually got a special cigar here. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a Cuaba. It's Cuban. I had to go in the stash today for this one because I had a chance to watch the interview with Clif and Reggie Middleton of Veritaseum. Excellent interview. And even for myself, cleared up a lot of questions. Helped me understand the platform altogether. And so I'm just going to go through some of the points from the interview. And hopefully it will help you guys as well understand what Reggie is doing, he and his team, and maybe it's a good fit for you. I definitely see what he is doing fully now, and it really rings home for me because I used to trade the futures market, and I understand intermediaries, I understand peer-to-peer, over-the-counter, all that type of stuff. So hearing that really rang a bell for me. So one thing I do want to mention, many people may not know, and I remember this because I've been following Reggie for quite some time now. It's been about 4 or 5 years, maybe even longer, like 6 years. I've known and followed Reggie back from his CNBC days, of being on a few of the shows on there quite often. He won a few Traders Choice Awards, or I don't know what they used to call them. I think he won twice in consecutive years, so that was pretty cool. But Reggie's idea about Veritaseum, I don't know if it was called Veritaseum at that point, but I do remember him having videos out, and even giving video demos of this very idea. But he was building it on the Bitcoin blockchain, which at that point was very limited. There weren't really many. The idea of smart contracts was there, colored tokens, all that type of stuff was there at that time, but the actual infrastructure for doing such things weren't really in place. So it was very new, the development of smart contracts and such. So I think he kind of hit a roadblock with that, and so he kind of picked up when Ethereum came on the scene, and kind of rebirthed it under the Veritaseum brand and concept. So not sure if many people knew that. That's something to keep in mind. He's been at this for a while and has a patent or 2 or 3, I don't know how many, but for this very idea that he, I think, did back then, maybe a few years, like 4 or 5 years ago, 4 years ago. So essentially what I took away from that interview, again, great job for Clif putting that together. Much needed for many people, but it still won't. We all know it won't change. It won't sway the haters. They're gonna be how they're gonna be, and we all know why they're that way. So you just kind of have to roll with the punches on that. But essentially, what I took away from that was what Reggie is attempting to do is set up peer-to-peer trading, essentially dark pools, is what I kind of took away from it, allowing bigger institutions to trade, and is not per se for your consumer traders or what they call retail traders. But I did hear Reggie say that his main goal is B2B initially. Then he will, you know, go down the scale, go down the ladder into the B2C, or, you know, kind of consumer level trading, retail level trading. Offer his services for that purpose. So that's pretty cool. That's good to see his vision from that perspective. Definitely going that route, you're going to have a longer cycle time to close deals when you go B2B or the institutional route and then coming down. However, as he even mentioned in the video, one medium-sized institution he's good. So the lead time or cycle time to secure those types of deals may be longer, but again, man, it's only going to take one or two, really one, to really set this thing off. And so I can definitely see the value in that strategy, and you know, going in that direction. Also, what I wanted to talk to you about, from what I took away from the interview, basically explaining the current issues with equities and not having actual stocks. I thought that was neat. You know, many people don't understand that. It's huge, man. Like, the whole equities market is so messed up and such a house of cards, it doesn't make sense. And most people don't understand that. Like, when you buy a stock, let's say from Fidelity, E-Trade, any of these brokers, you're really not buying a stock. As they mentioned in the interview, you're buying a derivative of the stock. So it is thought that about, for every stock that's out there, it's rehypothecated about 2 or 3 times. So it's a hot mess, man. And what Reggie is attempting to do is eliminate all of that. And that's huge, man. That is really, that's awesome. And that is big. You know, he's going to have a big challenge ahead of him. But if he's got only a few people in his corner on Wall Street, in that industry, in that fintech or finance industry, he's gonna be able to do it. It's not gonna take much. It's not gonna take many people. He only needs a few to be in his corner, and he'll be able to definitely do a lot of damage. But yeah, like, if you don't own that, like, when you purchase a stock, it's owned. The actual certificate is owned by Seed & Co. So go research that, Seed & Co. So every stock you purchase, you don't own it. You literally do not own it. I believe it's owned and stored at the I want to say DCC. I don't know if I'm saying if that's the right company, but I know the Seed & Co. is who owns the actual title or claim to that stock. It's crazy. Do your research that, and you know, leave your comments in the section of this video below if you know about it, or if you went and researched it and came back and give me your opinions on that. It's crazy. But I agree with Reggie. You know, there's a difference between a tech idea and the execution of that idea. And so he talked about that as well. Like, it's one thing to have some nerds who know how to program code, do all types of, you know, wizardry with the coding, but it's another to build those business relationships and execute on those, and also, you know, turn a tech into an actual working machine, a working company. So just be very wary of the ICOs that you invest in, because they actually may be good developers. They may know how to code, know how to make sound code and everything, but they don't have the team or marketing team behind them, and business relations team behind them to actually scale that business up. So just keep that in mind. I thought that was a pretty good jewel that Reggie dropped in the interview. What I took away from it after listening to his interview, and he talked about like how Veritaseum is not a Bitcoin, a Litecoin. And he mentioned like Dash. It's more along the lines of how Populous is, and he mentioned another company. But what immediately popped into my head was, okay, and maybe, I don't know, but this is what I thought. Oh, I get it. Veritaseum is almost a SaaS. And a SaaS is software as a service. So I would almost put Veritaseum, now that I've seen this video, I will put that in the category as a SaaS, almost. And that's neat. Like, that is a different way of looking at this space. And SaaS, if any of you know, like, SaaS has high valuations, 10x on revenue or even higher. So as he mentioned, don't look at the value of the coins, but look at the actual utility of what he's doing. And so he put that very eloquently toward the end of the interview. And I'll link to the interview if you guys haven't seen it. I'm sure many of you watching this have already. But I'll put the link to both videos in the bottom of this description. So I had a few questions, a few takeaways from the interview that that just kind of popped up in my head. There seemed to be like a wide range of flexibility when setting up the smart contracts within the platform. I'm just wondering, I would love to ask Reggie, if I get a chance to interview him, I might have a possibility of doing this, but I would love to know, like, what was his game plan, if they've actually already already have all of the UI UX done to manage these different options they have for setting up these smart contracts. It seems like he's painting a broad stroke on the capabilities of these smart contracts. So I'm just wondering, like, is that all built out, or is this something that's going to need development? And if so, that's going to be that's going to be a big task to handle, or take on, I should say. And then, like, the other thing I was thinking about, like, regulatory hurdles. I mean, I just see a lot of regulatory hurdles and bumps that he may run into. I'm just wondering if he's tackled some of those already. Those are just kind of questions, curiosities that popped up in my head. Just knowing how the financial world is, man, I mean, he could spend millions and millions of dollars on red tape and regulatory issues trying to get clearance for, even though he's saying that his token is not an equity or anything like that. I'm just thinking from a business operation standpoint. I'm seeing a lot of hurdles that he would have to come to get over, which could bump out his time horizon for execution on many of the things that he's promising to deliver to the industry. The last thing I kind of mentally took a note on was barriers to entry. There's a lot of hate, a lot of hating going on on Reggie and his team, and I'm just wondering, like, what are the barriers to entry for competitors? Like, what would stop someone else. I know his GitHub is private. His GitHub repository is private. But what are the contingency plans, or how big or how large is the barrier to entry into this space? I would just be curious to know that, pick his brain on that, and how he feels he has some proprietary edge over, someone else that may want to enter the space. So I mean, that's pretty much it. Excellent interview. Thought it was great, man. Again, kudos to Clif for putting this together. I don't own any Veritaseum at the moment, but that definitely made me want to get some. So I probably will be doing so very soon. So yeah, that's pretty neat. Pretty neat. I see if he can pull this off, the value of Veritaseum being exponentially higher than where it is today. So with that being said, just like and subscribe. Make sure if you do subscribe, please click that bell so you get every video. You get an alert for every video that I do. Follow me on Steemit, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm posting on Steemit on a daily basis articles that I feel are beneficial to you and would be informative. And definitely, not last but not least, follow and join the Webbot chat room. It's on Telegram. I'll leave the link for that in the description of this video as well. And that's it. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Out. Holla.